What is up, you guys? Tristan here, Ingram Orchids and More. It's been a while. I apologize about that. But today I want to bring you along to take a look at some of my favorite orchids. Encyclia tampensis, also known as the Butterfly Orchid or the Tampa Butterfly Orchid. So right now is prime season for a lot of the Encyclias. And as you can see, we have a Encyclia albozanthina blooming right here. Very fragrant. But end of May, early June is when our native or Florida native butterfly orchids tend to start blooming. And right now in the lanai, there are quite a few getting ready to pop. They're not all the way open yet, but I show you this before they're all open because a lot of times the little native sweat bees, they get to work doing what they do, what they're naturally meant to do, and they start pollinating all the flowers, and before you know it, all the flowers brown and turn into seed pods because they've been pollinated, which is what their intended purpose is. So, but here in the lanai, these are in the screen, and so they're protected from a lot of the pollinators, so we get to enjoy the show, even though that's not what the plant's trying to do. It's not trying to show off to us, it's trying to show off to its pollinator. Either way, we enjoy them and they're beautiful. So here's one of the Robolini palms inside the pool cage, and there are a lot of other orchids on this palm, but from floor to ceiling almost, or from the bottom all the way up to right here, there are butterfly orchids just scattered throughout. And we're not even all the way open yet, and you can see all of those little golden yellow flowers with a little touch of purple on there on the lip. And these are very fragrant. They kind of smell like a mixture between baby powder and musty smelling. It's not, sometimes you'll find one that doesn't have all that great of a smell, and other times you'll find one that does have a good smell. So their fragrance is a little bit variable depending on between each plant, but there you go. That one's got a nice purple spot on it. But there are butterfly orchids all over. There's even one up here that the flowers are blooming into this tillandsia here. But you could see them, they almost glow in the evening and morning sunlight. It's one of my favorite looks, is all the little butterfly orchids just kind of glowing in the sunshine. And if this were outside the lanai, all these flowers would be turning brown because they would all be pollinated. But there you go, guys. I'll show you some more, and I'll show you something really cool here in a second. So let's walk over to this other tree. On this, another pygmy date palm's got a lot of orchids, but you can see just the abundance of butterfly orchids. Down here we also have one of the more unique encyclias that I have. This is Dickinsoniana by Alata. And this one has a very pungent smell. It's kind of sweet and sour at the same time. It has the sweet aroma like Alata, but it has that sour smell kind of like Dickinsoniana. Dickinsoniana has a really foul smelling flower. So this one has a mix of both. Catherine really does not like this flower at all. She calls it the feet orchid. It has a little bit of an aroma reminiscent of like stinky socks, but more sweet than that. I don't know how to describe it. It's pungent, kind of a acrid, acidic smell, but you know, it's not, I like it, I enjoy it, but some people do not. But this thing is so heavy that when I water, the flowers start touching the water of the pool, which is not good at all. Don't want the chlorine water on those flowers. But they are so heavy laden that it's twisting the spikes and the bulbs. The bulbs are dehydrated, even though I've been watering this plant pretty frequently, just because all of this moisture loss through these flowers. Flowers are not very good at retaining moisture, and so the plant is just pumping moisture into these inflorescences and losing a lot of water in the process. So as soon as these are done, we'll cut them off, and you can see how shriveled those bulbs are. So that's what I'm talking about. The plant is just pumping excess amounts of water into those inflorescences, trying to keep those flowers nice. But here we go. This is Encyclia tampensis up here. Plants and the flowers are covered in pollen from these flowers on the palm. I try to rip all the flowers off because they make a mess. I missed a couple of them. And let's do a smell. Yep. Baby powder and must. So there you go. And let's talk about something cool here. Here are all the baby butterfly orchids growing here at the base. Hopefully that shows up on camera. At least that's what I'm guessing there are. It's possible that could be something else because, you know, there's other Encyclias over here that, you know, it could theoretically be a seedling of, but the most likely answer is usually the correct answer, and so my guess is they're baby butterfly orchids. But see, even some down here. In retrospect, I probably should not have put these so low down. As you can see, some of the buds are touching the ground here, the rocks and the siding here. So, but oh well. Flowers everywhere. And like I said, I do like to keep a lot of butterfly orchids inside the lanai just so I get to enjoy the flowers, because I'll take y'all here in a second outside to see. The ones that are outside don't even last a day before they're pollinated and they wilt. Let's go take a look. Rio Clarence still blooming. Dr. Robert H. Palmer. Oh, here's one. I don't know if we talked about this one. This is Sol de Esperanza. This is a Lotta bifalii. This one smells just like a Lotta. It's got a little bit of Phalii influence in it. And the bulb is very reminiscent of Phalii as well. It's got those dark reddish bulbs, like Randii and Phalii. They both have those dark reddish bulbs. And here is Prosthiclia memoria young seed lot. This is our native butterfly orchid, Encyclia tampensis crossed with Prosthiclia mariae, which I have one in spike upstairs. So I'll have to show you all that in a future video. But tampensis, easy to grow. Prosthiclia mariae, not very easy to grow. It's a cold grower. This thing, even worse. So for whatever, this did not get the hybrid vigor that we hoped it would, and I find this hybrid to be more difficult to grow than Prosthiclia mariae. So I don't know what's up with that. Just luck of the draw. Here's butterfly orchid. All right, up here, I will try and get this as close as I can. This is Encyclia guadatam. This is Guadalupe crossed with tampensis. So this is another butterfly orchid hybrid. I love this because they have those pink flowers. This is Encyclia tampensis albescens. This is not completely alba. There is a hint of color in the flower. So that's a really unique characteristic. I would say this is even rarer than the albas, which I'm about to show you. See, it almost looks like it's completely albinistic, but there is just a hint of blush in that lip there. And my tampensis alba, one of them is right here, not blooming yet. Here's another tampensis, and you can see a lot of these flowers already starting to turn brown because they're immediately being pollinated. Got a mockingbird who's got a nest in here. She's been pestering us every time I walk by over here. She thinks I'm threatening her babies. So here's some more tampensis. These are still in bud, but here you go. There's tampensis. But see, that flower and that flower there, I can tell have already been pollinated. And so is that one. See, the lip starts to turn yellow immediately as soon as it's pollinated, but the fresh flowers stay white and purple on the lip there. We got another Encyclia guadatam. Oh, there she is. She just like came up and like almost smacked me in the back of the head. Scared the crap out of me. I see you up there, Mama Mockingbird. If you scratch me, we're gonna have words. Jesus, good Lord, there she goes. She went right by my ear. I can see you up there. Alright, sorry guys. Went from an Encyclia tampensis video into fight with a mockingbird. My bet is she'll win. And her nest is right here. She did this last year too. Same bird. I'm watching you. So here's another. As soon as I turn my back, she's gonna come after me. So we have Encyclia Serena O'Neill, or Epicyclia I should say. And that is Mabel Canda by Cordidra. She keeps flying by my head, y'all. She is not happy. Alright, let's get out of here before she really goes after me. Got some butterfly orchids getting ready to bloom here. Alright, now we'll pause the video and we will be back in just a second. Alright, so we are here in the weed factory. And we have more pygmy date palms and some more butterfly orchids. This one almost has no color in the petals. There's a little bit there, but it's got a nice purple spot. I've stuffed some into this this rock or this little retaining wall here. So some of those are still blooming. But let's see. I was hoping that some of these little natural seedlings would start blooming this year, because I've seen wild ones and nursery grown tampensis bloom on plants that are smaller than that, and I didn't put this here. This just showed up. There's a whole bunch of little seedlings here. There's another tampensis. This one's kind of ugly. Sometimes with seedlings you'll get some ugly ones. This one's pretty nice here. It's got good colors. And I doubt y'all are going to be able to see that, but their natural pollinator, that little native sweat bee, is flying around here. And here's a little more of them in this little retaining wall. Most of these had flowers the other day. I bet the deer have chewed them off, because I don't even see the old flowers that were pollinated. They're just gone. So I'm positive that the deer probably just munched them. Here's one. And you'll notice, guys, that some of these, if you look real carefully, some of them do have scale on them. They get that Bois Duval scale really badly. I try and blast it off with a hose when I can, but I really don't pay a whole lot of attention to these plants out here. So there's some more little seedlings, natural seedlings, growing in the roots of this cattleya. So I do have quite a lot of tampensis just showing up everywhere. There's some more on the retaining wall. Those there have been pollinated already. All right, here we go. Here in the front yard, we got a lot of them on the tree here, and I just let these go. You know, it's sad to see them all get pollinated so quickly, but this is the natural way of them. And their little sweat bee pollinator is flying around here. Maybe we'll get them to stop and check out a flower. Maybe. Come on, step on a flower. Well, they're all flying around. Oh, there he is, there he is. They're green and yellow. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it happen, guys. Maybe I can get a photo on my phone, put it in the video. So here's some more. I didn't put these here, these just showed up. There's some more, I put that one there. Alright, so here, Dendrobium aggregatum, I put that there. Encyclia tampensis, I didn't put that there. So somewhere, tampensis seed just happened to float by and land right there at the base of this Dendrobium and started growing. You know, and that's a good thing. That means that this environment is conducive for them to grow. And not what the video is about, but here you have Certipodium paniculatum. This was the first Certipodium that I ever got. It was a gift from a good friend's dad. He's another orchid enthusiast. He gave me a piece of this when I first started growing orchids. And it is one of my favorite plants. I cherish this plant a lot. I had an even bigger one that I sold, a piece of the same plant, but this is the one that I kept. Out here we have another tampensis. This was a stump, a piece of the live oak tree that we had come down during the hurricane, and it had all of these butterfly orchids on it before it fell. So when I sawed it down, I just left a few stumps. Even though it's dead now and this is gonna fall off any day, I wanted to just leave it here just for a little while so that the butterfly orchids would grow. And they're in full morning sun, guys. Somehow they're still alive. And these are Schomburgkias or Myrmecophyllus, and they turn bright yellow in the full sun. And they got spikes on them. And so this is getting sunlight for like the better part of the day, and somehow these tampensis are still alive. Here you go, here's another one. This one's got really cool colors. It's got some reddish tones to it. And a nice saturated spot on the lip there. I like the ones that have a real nice saturated spot. Go over to one of the oaks. Alright, so this is kind of being in shadow, so I apologize about that. But here on this oak, there's a piece of Oncidium spatulatum and a bunch of butterfly orchids. And they're really crispy because I haven't watered them and we have not gotten any rain. But there are some baby butterfly orchids growing in there. These poor things need some water. I need to drag the hose out here, water those poor guys. Here's some more. Lots of, and here you go. Here is one of the worst things you could find as an orchid grower. Come here, you little piece of crap. These lubbers, they get even bigger than this. These things will just ravage your orchids. I squash them whenever I find them. Look at him. Look at what he's done. Look at this damage. He just chewed off all these leaves. I'm sorry if you weren't such a voracious predator of orchids that would let you live, but you can't live. I find the best way is just pull their heads off, quick and painless. And a lizard. And so here you go, bunch of little babies Butterfly orchids growing all over the place here. Hopefully y'all can see that. Dendrobium Lori Mortimer. And there are some tampensis way up in this tree that I'm not going to be able to show y'all guys. In this cattleya here, there's a volunteer growing. Tampensis started growing in there, and it's blooming. But up in this tree here, there's some more. Here we are with the magnolia. There's some growing up here. This one's got some cool colors to it. There was one up here that looked really funny. It had a really funny shaped flower. It's not blooming yet. This one looked really weird. So that's what happens if you get enough of these things. Eventually they'll just start growing everywhere, like these baby ones here, and you'll see a cool variation in the flowers. And a quick sneak peek. This is Laelia purpurata variety Schusteriana. This is my favorite variety. Then right here we have Laelia purpurata variety Carnea. It's got that more like that, you know, well, like meat colored, like, you know, carne is the Latin word for meat, and you know, it's got that bloody pink look to it. But I like both of these quite a lot, but the Schusteriana with that violet purple just really stands out. I actually do not own the regular variety of purpurata, surprisingly, but these two have grown well for me, and this one's already been divided a couple times, and it's just going to town. See if there's anything else blooming. Here we have LC Schilleriana, not to be confused with Cattleya Schilleriana. This is Cattleya purpurata crossed with Cattleya intermedia. What in the world? There's a piece of guatatam growing up here amongst the butterfly orchids, and I don't remember putting it there. Obviously I did, because it's velcroed on there, but I don't even remember doing that, guys. Good lord, that's what happens when you have too many orchids, I guess. You start to forget what you did. But hopefully y'all can see that with the dying light. Sun's about to go down. All the butterfly orchids just starting to go off here. So I hope y'all enjoyed that sneak peek of our native butterfly orchids, plus a few little extras there. And we appreciate you guys watching, so stay tuned to the next video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.